Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1091. Happy Friday. It's the day before the Madison Card Show. We are getting there. It's like putting a giant puzzle together, but I think I did take a couple cancellations yesterday, which normally Thursday cancellations are okay. In a typical month, because it gives me time, like, hey, to reach out to people. Friday afternoon, a little trickier, though. This month it'll be okay since I'm way overbooked. But we're starting to I think I'm at that, is it fulcrum? I'm at that tipping point, fulcrum, whatever that is, to where it's going to be jam packed. So if you are coming, there's probably going to be some tight spaces just because I have to squeeze some tables in. But I took 3 table cancellations from 2 dealers yesterday. And last night, as I'm putting together the final list, I realized I missed 2 dealers with 3 tables. So that was all for naught. But going into yesterday, I was at that point where, okay, I'm going to use every table that I have. And I think I'm right. Plus 2 people are bringing their own tables. We're going to, Michael's got his spot. And then there's another one that we're just going to find somewhere. So that's where we're at. Tomorrow, Madison Card Show, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. We're going to be at about 145 tables, jam-packed, into the Williamson Ballroom in the first floor. Going to be a couple tables out in the hallway outside that room. Upstairs, the mezzanine, we're going to pack it. And then I'm going to add a couple more tables to the regular setup inside the upstairs Capitol Ballroom. Show hours 9 to 3. Early birds are welcome. I will not be set up. If you're I'm kind of bummed. One of my guys that canceled, he's sick. So wishing JR the best. He's one of my guys that I buy from. He's the Bowman guy. So he won't be set up this weekend. Matt from 5 Star Cards won't be set up. Matt's out of town this month. So the plan was one of his employees was going to come just with one table to accept submissions. But something happened and he's not able to make it. So 5 Star will not be in attendance this month. So that's another bargain box. So if you're a bargain box buyer that looks at my boxes, JR's boxes, and Matt's boxes, you're going to be disappointed. So I won't be set up. JR won't be set up. 5 Star Cards won't be set up. But Jeff, Chicago Jeff, he was not at the December show, but he will be set up. So Jeff will be in his same spot, which is next to where I'm usually set up in the middle. We've got East Coast Tom setting up for the first time. I know he's got a bunch of stuff. He's going to be up in that area as well, that back wall. He's going to be where Eric normally is. Eric's not coming this month. The Ferry Brothers downstairs, Ferry Brother Breaks, they've got some great bargain boxes. They're always jam-packed with people. There's always like a crowd. I rarely get to talk to them during the show because they're so busy, which is a good thing. So they'll be downstairs on the back wall in the Williamson Ballroom. Max says, is Dell coming? No, Dell's not coming. Dell lives, I think, in Indiana. Like it's quite like he set up. Was he set up last month? I think he was set up at the December show. He did enjoy it. He's like, I'll come back, but I can't come back every month, which I completely understand. So Dell won't be there. Let's see. Let's do a Madison Card Show preview. We do have quite a few first-time dealers, which is something that I like to do each month to give new variety. So I think there's at least 12. Let's see. All right, we've got this list alphabetized, so no more mistakes. Let's see. First-time dealers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're at 8. Going once. 9. 9 going once. 9. So we're at 9. First time dealers this month. Madison Card Show tomorrow, Sheraton Hotel. We've got Aaron. He's upstairs in the on the wall. A lot of NBA, a lot of basketball stuff. He's next to Troy. Troy's got a lot of wax. Adam is back after missing last month. We've got Adrian upstairs in the mezzanine. Andy in the Williamson Ballroom. Badger Breaks upstairs in the Capitol Ballroom. Ben, tough to find stuff on Instagram, will be in the back corner in the Williamson Ballroom. Caleb is back. I think he's missed the last couple shows. He's back. The Cardboard Bros will be back. Chris Smith is back after a couple months off. Craig, of course, right next to Matt, or right behind Max, in front of Max, whatever. Craig and Elijah along the wall upstairs. Daniel is a new dealer this month. David, I think David's only set up at 1 or 2 shows. So David will be back this month. Derek is a new dealer. Dustin is back after a few months off. Eric is back. Our buddy Eric, who pops in the chat every once in a while. It's been, 5 months for Eric. So he's back. Ferry Brothers along the back wall downstairs. Frito is back. He's got 3 tables in the Williamson Ballroom. Gary, one of our vintage guys, upstairs. Jeremy, he's got some Pokemon. He'll be upstairs. Greg is our tobacco card in pre-war. He'll be in the back corner in the Williamson Ballroom. Jack is back. Our buddy Wally's son Jackson will be set up. Jake from Dog Pound Breaks, first time vendor at the Madison Card Show. James, actually two different Jameses are first time dealers to the show. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 Jameses setting up at the Madison Card Show. And 2 of them are first timers. Jeff, he's got some bargain boxes upstairs. He's normally he normally set up next to me, but I won't be set up, so he's in his same spot. Jim downstairs as you walk in. Jim upstairs. Our friend Jim Lyon from the Lion's Den, one of our show sponsors. Jimmy is a first-time dealer. Joa is back. Joel is back after a month off. Let's see. A couple John. Actually, wow, we have 4 Johns. 4 Johns, including 4 Johns and a Jonathan. Let's see. We've got Jordan, first-time dealer. Jose is back. Juan is a first-time dealer. Kevin, I believe Kevin's a first-timer. Kyle is back. I think he took last month off. The Lambricks, as you walk in upstairs. Logan is back. I think it's been a couple months for him. Big Mark upstairs. A lot of vintage from him. A lot of PSA and graded. A lot of slabs. Matt's back after several months. We've got Matt Skaggs upstairs. Matthew Fisher is back. Let's see. Matthew. Max, of course, our buddy Max in the chat. Michael. The Minster brothers. It's been a couple months for them. Paul is back after a few months. He's got all the BCW supplies. It's been a few months, the holiday stuff for him. Peter, Ray, Richard, Robert, our buddies from Rockford, Mike and John, they run the Rockford and Janesville shows. Rodney, Ryan, Sheena, Shong, Sterling, East Coast Tom, Tom Desatel, who he set up one time before. I know he does Oak Creek. He'll be set up in Madison tomorrow. Real Breaks. My buddy Tom's not going to be in attendance, but he's got some employees that'll be covering for him. Tom, who has, how many Toms do we have? Oh, wow. I think we have more Toms than James and Johns. We have five Toms. Let's see. Tony from the Oak Creek show, Troy, Wisco Pokestop, and Josh Brothers. So that's our show lineup for tomorrow. Madison Card Show, 9 to 3. Early birds are welcome. If you've come in the past at like 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. when my stuff's set up, there's probably, I think our earliest dealers, usually Troy and Jim arrive, and John. Usually those are the first 3 dealers every month. They get in around 6:30, 6:45. So you can pop in and see if anybody's set up yet, but probably won't be anybody set up until 7. But you're free to roam the room early. Show hours officially 9 to 3. And it's free admission, of course. So come see us. Victor's in the house. What's going on, Victor? Good morning. Happy Friday. Low Roller Scratcher tells me I'm tardy. I am. Biscuit woke me up this morning. I knew I was making a mistake. I knew I was making a mistake. So last night, my Leathernecks were on a big conference. We are now in the this is dangerous times for college basketball teams. Like the middle of January into the second week of February, right before conference tournaments, like that month. This is when you can get caught, especially teams looking ahead to March Madness or whatever. And I lived this with my Leathernecks, and it's a tough time. Every game is a grind. This is where, especially road games, and it's hard to win on the road in mid to late January in conference play. And we saw it with Wisconsin, the Badgers last week. They lost at Penn State. It was a nail biter at Minnesota the other night. You're seeing upsets on the road in conference play. My Leathernecks, if you look at the records, they did lose at home on a buzzer beater last weekend. So they're playing at Southern Indiana, which they're in transition. So not only is Southern Indiana, they're just not good. They're in Division I hell because they're in transition. So they are a Division I team. They're playing a Division I schedule. They're just not eligible for the tournament. There's a 4-year transition period. They also don't have a full 4 years because you're transitioning, because the NCAA doesn't want a team just to go Division I, because you don't have the perks. If you're Division II or Division III, you don't have the same perks or the same rules, the same recruiting as a Division I program. It's also a lot easier to recruit to a Division I compared to a D2 or D3. So Southern Indiana is going through this transition. There's been a lot of Division I transitions. Like, I don't remember this many, like 20 to 30 years ago. And then all of a sudden in the last 10 years, 12 years, because it's been 10 years since I was working in college basketball. We had Omaha, University of Omaha was going through the transition when I was working. At that time, I think there were 4 programs transitioning to Division I. Since then, there's been several. St. Thomas out of Minnesota has transitioned. I don't know where they're at in that transition, but anyway, Southern Indiana, UIS is, I think they're in year 2 of the Division I transition. And so Western Illinois played it at Evansville at USI last night. And you're looking at the records, it's like, oh, they're transitioning to Division I. They don't have, a good record. This is going to be a win. And of course, it's a grind, man. It's a grind. Western did win. I think they ended up winning by like 6, but it was a tight game. Like it was pretty tight. It was a chippy game. You like to see that. I love watching this Leatherneck team. I know most of you are probably, I don't give a shit about low major Division I programs, directional state schools and states I don't live in. But they are a fun team to watch. If you're a college basketball nerd and you'll watch directional universities in low major Division I, give the Leathernecks a shot. They do have a big game. They play in the Ohio Valley Conference. Or I think 6-1 now in league play. They play Morehead State on Saturday, and I think it's a road game. So that's going to be a tough one. But, Morehead's going to be favored in that game, even though I think Western's alone in first place. Morehead State's likely going to be favored in that game. So the Leathernecks won. Nice win last night. It was a late game. So I didn't go to bed till like after 10, almost 10:30. Biscuit wants to go to bed early. And so she has this routine. she's a very routine oriented dog. So she goes out and goes potty and then goes to bed, like races to bed. Like there's nothing more like she doesn't like food, but she loves the bed. She's like, I want to go to bed. She would lay in that bed all freaking day. Like she would certainly pass up meals to lay in bed all day. She is a couch people dog. So she races to the bed. And it's only like 8:30. I think it was halftime. No, it wasn't even halftime. It was still in the first half. It wasn't even halftime yet. But I think it was like the under 16 or the under 12 timeout. I'm like, okay, it's a timeout. She's itching to go outside. I know she wants to go to bed. She doesn't have to go potty. She just wants to go to bed. And she knows that, oh, if I go potty, I get to go to bed. So I take her out, and she didn't really pee that much. And I'm like, oh, this is probably going to come back and bite me in the ass at 3 a.m. It didn't, but it did bite me in the ass at 5 a.m. So I watched the game. I wake up, and it's like Friends was still on. And I know if Friends is still on, it's not too early in the morning because I go to sleep to Friends. And if I'll wake up and the TV's still on, it's on like Frasier. And I think Frasier starts at like 1 or 2 in the morning on TBS. So when I wake up to Biscuit, like just itching for something, and Friends is still on. I'm like, geez, it's still early. And I'm like, damn it, I bet she has to go potty again because she didn't go potty enough. She didn't pee enough at 8:30. So I get up and I'm like, oh, but I forgot to give her water before bed. I bet she needs a drink. So I go get her a drink, and she laps up a little bit, but not as much as she normally drinks. And we go back to bed. And then I wake up again at like 5, and she's itching to get up. And I'm like, do you need some more water? Because I'm like not dressed to go outside. All my clothes, my wife fills up the closet. I don't even step foot in her bathroom or closet. Sometimes, like if she's out of town, like she has been this week, and I have to take a leak at like 2 a.m., which I'm not quite that old where it happens regularly, but every once in a while, maybe I had a few beers, I'll use her toilet. So I can't remember where I was going with this, but anyway, I get her some water, and no, I don't want water. I have to pee. And so we go outside, we go potty, and she peed a lot. Like she was holding it in last night. Like, damn it. So now she's good. Like she won't have to potty again for a while. So I can get some more work done. I don't have to worry about, oh, I better go take Biscuit out for her morning pee. So there you go. Now you have both my bathroom schedule and Biscuit's bathroom schedule. Dollar Box, what's going on? I bet Adam and Charlie and Stuart are they're either at Denny's right now, sitting down for a breakfast, or they're on the road to Eau Claire. The mall show in Eau Claire is this weekend. So Adam and Charlie, road trip. There's Charlie. Road trip Friday. Love it. Good luck in those bargain boxes today in Eau Claire. I want to hear all about it next week. Philly Joe, good morning. Free for all Friday. Here we are. Shane Koopman's in the house. Good morning. Hey, Shane, tell us about your trip. Shane went to Minnesota yesterday in the fog. It was foggy here like all day. Usually when it first started getting foggy earlier this week, when that warm front came in, it like lifted by 10, 11 o'clock. But yeah, the last couple of days, it's been just foggy all flipping day. It's not foggy right now. So I was just going to say, I don't know if Victor's making the trip up tomorrow from Chicago. It's been pretty foggy, but it's not foggy at all this morning. Hopefully today, tomorrow, it's not like the atmosphere is used to all this snow and this warm weather coming in. The snow is melting, which is good. I mean, I don't mind snow in January. It's by the end of February, it's like, okay, I want March to come in like a lamb. I want spring, like winter's over. I don't live in a state where that happens, and that's my own fault. I want March 1st, spring. I love the seasons. I wish there a location where it's like March 1st, boom, warmer weather. And it doesn't have to be 80. I mean, I'll take 50 and gradually go up. I prefer 70 by the middle to end of March. Those are beautiful days. Like when we get those days, we don't get them here in Wisconsin, but in Illinois, we would get those 70 degree days in middle of March, end of March, March Madness. There's nothing better. That March is it's not my favorite month anymore because we don't get the same weather that we got in central Illinois. That's what people are, oh, you're moving from Illinois to Wisconsin. Oh, there's going to be a lot of, it's really cold up here. I'm like, it's really cold like 3 hours south also. And we get a lot of snow down there too. It's not that. The difference between 3 hours south of where I am, where I grew up, and Madison, the difference isn't the cold. Like 30 below wind chills happened where I grew up. Foot of snow happened to where I grew up. Actually, my hometown, there's been a couple years recently that my hometown down south, 3 hours south of here, got more snow in a winter than what we got in Madison. The difference is March. We get that lousy smarch weather here in Wisconsin where it's just fucking cold. It's winter. We don't get spring in March in Wisconsin. But in Illinois, we did. We got like 70 degree days. The best thing, because I loved March, because you've got spring training is like well underway, and you've got March Madness. You've got college basketball. There was nothing better in terms of sporting events, because there's things are better than March weather. But having like a day off from work, like when I worked in radio, I was radio. If you've ever worked or know anything about radio, you don't make shit for money. The panhandlers at the intersections make more money than radio guys. So I couldn't take days off to like go on trips. So I had to take days off to just sit at home. And I hated doing that. But it's like, I got called in one time about my vacation. They're like, you have 6 weeks of vacation. We can't like keep giving you vacation. And I'm like, but you don't pay me enough to use it. Like, just take a day off. I'm like, I don't want to take a day off. So I'd take days off like March Madness. And I'd take Thursday and Friday off to watch the first round. And there's nothing better than opening up the windows. It's all winter long. You know, your windows have been closed for 6 months, 5 months, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it's warm. You got college basketball. You've got fresh air coming in. Oh, I love it. I love the smell of a March Madness Thursday. But we don't get that here. It's probably going to be fucking 40 degrees. So that's the difference. And I noticed that right away. I think my first job interview here in Madison was in March. And like the end of March, maybe. Nah, it might have been April. I think it was April. But anyway, it was one of those days. It was one of those spring days where it was like 70 back in Macomb. And it was like 50 in Madison. I'm like, man, I hope this isn't normal. And it is. Unfortunately, it is. But Madison's way better than Macomb. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, Dave. Sorry, Donald. David's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Neil, what's happening? Happy Friday. Matty Ice is here. Good morning. Corey Garcia, what's happening? Donald is here. Good morning. Royals 417 in the house. Peter, happy Fridayness. Yes. East Coast Tom's in the house. Let me know if you need me tonight. Hey, I might, if you're willing, I'll shoot you a text tonight. I'm probably going to go after dinner. I'm going to haul in the tables. I've got a dozen tables and just my signage, just so I don't have to do it first thing in the morning. I'm not going to set the tables up. I may like puzzle piece because on the wall that I have I'm just going to play around with the layout. I might do something a little different just to squeeze a couple extra tables in that area. So I prefer having my layout done like yesterday, but I don't know exactly with the multiple additional tables squeezing in. I don't know where I'm going to put some, so I don't have my layout just yet. So yeah, I probably will text you tonight if you're up to it. Donald, what's going on? Any advice on setting up your first card show? I think I did a video on this, but maybe I'll do another one. Because I'm sure it was like a Hobby Evolution where we talked about what we ate for dinner and the weather in Illinois for a half an hour to 45 minutes before we got to the subject. Mark did reach out to me. There's going to be a card show in March in Macomb. I think April 6th. Is that correct? Macomb, Illinois. So I think your venue's already booked. So that's the first hurdle if you're wanting to start a card show. The biggest hurdle is finding a location. Don't get married to, if anybody out there is looking to start a card show, my best piece of advice, don't get yourself married to a location or a venue without knowing the price. It's kind of like you're not going to go shop for a home that is way out of your price range, and you're not going to set up a showing. You're not going to go look at a $2 million home if your budget's $200,000, because you're going to fall in love and nothing in your budget is going to match what you just looked at. So you just don't do that. And it's a waste. Don't waste your realtor's time. So that's my first piece. That's the most important piece of advice. Get pricing from multiple venues. And I know that in your situation, in Mark's situation, that's already done. So you don't have to worry about that. But for anybody else out there, get pricing first. Second piece of advice also goes along with that. Find out how many tables they have, if they have tables. I wanted to start a show back in my hometown. There's a hotel banquet hall, and there's a lot of like everybody that's from my hometown gets married in the banquet hall at this hotel, and it's a nice venue. So I called, asked what the pricing was. At this point in time, their pricing they were more expensive than the Sheraton Hotel for one room in Madison. And they only had like 50 tables. So it's like, I'm doing the math and it's like, am I going to fill 50 tables at a first time show in a semi new area for me? So that's, get the table count. As far as your setting up, all that's done. All that's done. I do a layout. So what I have done, this helped me tremendously. Now, I probably didn't do this layout until like month 6. Also understand, just like setting up at a card show, don't go in with high expectations. Don't book a 100 table show your first time or a 200 table show your first time, because a lot of people, you have to build trust. Many dealers are like, it's a new show. I'm going to give it a few months. I had many of my regular dealers now didn't give me a chance for a year and a half, because there was a previous show in town that was subpar. And they're like, oh, Madison, I'm not going to do Madison. So it took a while to build a good reputation for the Madison Card Show. So I do a map. And, your first couple shows, if it's a smaller show, you probably don't need to do that. The bigger it gets, it's easier for both you and the dealers. So the dealers know where they're going. And then also for you, just so you're not overbooking it like a dumbass like me. So I do layouts. If you charge admission, make sure you have lots of singles, dollar bills. Go to the bank and get dollar bills like you're going to the strip club. So make sure you have enough change. What else? Signage. I didn't really do any signage until probably a year and a half in. But marketing, put it on the Beckett calendar, Sports Collectors Digest, Reddit, Nextdoor, Facebook, create a Facebook group, Twitter account, Instagram account, all that stuff. And just promote. I think the biggest, once you've settled on location and you've got that squared away, your second, and now you're promote. And when you're starting out, it's you've got to get dealers and people to come through the doors, because it takes both. It takes two to tango. It takes customers and dealers. If there's not enough dealers, the customers won't come back if there's a second show. If there's nobody buying from the dealers won't come back to the second show. So those are just some of the most common things that I can think of off the top of my head. Porter's in the house. What's going on? I got a box from Porter yesterday. I didn't bring it down here. I did get, I'll show off some mail. I did get this. This was an eBay purchase. Ethan Roberts gold refractor. Gold. And then, and then this came in the mail from Mark Del Franco on Twitter. Thank you, Mark. Turk Loan. Omar, Turk Loan. Is this, what year? Is this 52 Bowman? 53 Bowman? I'm not very good with the Bowman identification. I know 51's the smaller one, because I know that because of the Mickey Mantle. I think, or is this 53? Because Bowman color. Is it like 53 Bowman color? I can't remember. Of course, 55 Bowman. That's the easy one. That's the TV set. So Porter sent me a box as well. Thank you, Porter. There's some stuff that I didn't have. So thank you for that. Some new stuff that I didn't have. Shane is here. What's going on? Minnesota was a decent success. Didn't care for the value boxes the stores had to offer, but I did find a couple boxes of base for cheap. A 2-row of baseball for $15 and a 3-row of hockey for $20. Hey, not bad. Not bad. The Card Hunter, what's going on? Happy Friday. What's up? Good morning. Shane says baseball was run 1 row of 2019 Topps and 1 row of Heritage. The hockey was all Upper Deck Series 1 and 2 of various years. Well, hey, if you like it, very cool. What's up, Kyle? Good morning. Mikey's in the house. Is Card Dealer Pro working for you? I don't know. Here's the thing with Card Dealer Pro. Like, I'm not in it 24 hours a day. So I was in it last night briefly and it worked. But that was at 7 o'clock last night. So a lot of times I'm like, no, Card Dealer Pro is working fine. Well, what time? Well, last night at 7 p.m. Oh, I'm talking like 7 a.m. this morning. So I haven't been in it this morning. So as of 7 p.m. last night, it was working fine. James says JR isn't going to be there. Damn, I know. I knew it was going to upset you because I know that he's one of your guys. Yep, he reached out yesterday. He's like, man, I woke up sick. I'm not going to make it. I'm like, that is okay. I'd rather you not come if you're sick. Jamie, happy Friday. What's going on? Good morning. Dell not coming this month. Kyle, what's going on? He says, it's been a whole year since I went to the Madison Card Show. Hope to make it back one day. Yeah, it's not that far, man. What, 2 hours? Is that how long it probably took? No, probably less than that. Hour and a half? Because it takes me 2.5. It takes me 2.5. Takes me 2.5 to get to Anawan. What's it take me to get to Stockton? Like maybe an hour and 20? Because I think it takes me about an hour to get to, I think, Wyoda. Because I take 78. I don't know how you come up. Do you take 78 all the way up to Mount Horeb and over? I think Wyoda is an hour. And then it's probably another, 20 minutes to Stockton? So yeah, probably an hour and 20. Turkey Cards, what's going on? Tomorrow, a card show in Lansing, Michigan. There's a lot of card shows this weekend. The big Culture Collision show is this weekend down in Atlanta, Lansing, Michigan, Eau Claire. Of course, the Madison Card Show. I thought there was one other. There's not any Chicago shows this weekend because I've got a lot of Chicago dealers coming up. I can always tell when there's not a Chicago show or like a suburb show because I'll get dealers that they'll come to my show if there's not like a local show. I've got a lot of Chicago guys that will come to my show instead of the closer shows to them. But there's a few guys that they stick local unless there's not a show, then they'll come up. So nothing in the Chicagoland area, at least on Saturday. Maybe there's a Sunday show. James says, yes, Dell was there last month. Mikey says, Car Dealer Pro isn't matching anything, and when I try to search the database, it doesn't show anything. Well, let's just do something real quick. Let's do a test batch. Might as well share the screen. So it was work again, that 12 hours is eternity when it comes to tech. So let's just, let's go to batch. Let's just, let's do a Thurman Thomas. Let's scan an 89 Pro set Thurman Thomas. Let's get this on. My coffee, by the way, I forgot to clean my coffee maker, so I've got shitty coffee again this morning. All right. We've scanned. Oh, I've got to delete these. Shit. Okay. Delete. All righty. And upload Mr. Thomas. Okay. So we're in CDP now. All right. We're going to do test free for all. All right. We've got football. We're going to use the football template. Generic. We're going to do excellent. We're going to do $1.75. Create the batch. Little magic scan. Oh, there we go. All right. And let's see. Is it working this morning? It's working, man. There you go. 89 Pro set, Thurman Thomas. So it's working fine on my end. Working fine on my end. Let's see. Shane says, sadly, I won't be able to attend a Madison Card Show till after March Madness thanks to work. Bummer. So I don't have, many people have asked what the rest of the schedule is, and the Sheraton won't let me book more than 3 months out. I should be, though we're entering February, I should get those April, May, June dates here within the next couple weeks, hopefully. So, of course, tomorrow is the Madison Card Show, February 24th and March 30th. April, May, and June. I'm aiming for the last Saturday of each of those months, which, by the way, May. Let's talk about the May Madison Card Show. I always try to schedule it the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, which isn't a good one, but it's Bratfest. Guess what? Yesterday, Bratfest announced their lineup for this year. We were just looking at this last week. Bratfest. It's kind of a disappointing lineup. Let's share the screen. So let me show you who's headlining Bratfest. Yes, the Village People. So, hey, if you're a Village People fan and you're a card show, Madison Card Show fan, come on out. Make it a weekend. Friday night, the Village People, right across the street at Bratfest. Have a beer, have a brat. Take in some Village People. So we've got Village People on Friday night. Who else is playing? It's kind of a disappointment. We go all the way down for the Foo Foo Dolls, though. That's my buddy Ray. Ray's in the Foo Foo Dolls. They cover 90s alternative rock. So they play. What time do they play? 4:40 on Friday. Wayland, they're a pretty good band. Tantric. I'm a Tantric fan. They're kind of butt rock. Tantric at 6:15. These are Friday night. Boba Flex, they're also a rock band. Madison County, they're very popular here in Wisconsin. And the Village People. So that's Friday night. That's actually a pretty good lineup. Let's look at Saturday. This is Bratfest Memorial Day weekend. We have to go all the way. Sometimes they sneak in a pretty decent band in the afternoon. Let's see. Quiet Riot. And I found out that only one original Village People member is still with the band, and I think one of Quiet Riot's, or maybe two, I can't remember, from their Mental Health album from 40 years ago. Landco. I don't know who, they're a country band. I don't know who Landco is. So that's Saturday's lineup. Saturday, womp womp. not much going on Saturday. But hey, if you're a Quiet Riot fan, come out to the Madison Card Show and then walk across the street, take in some Quiet Riot and a brat. And then Sunday, I think Sunday's, Neil McCoy. All right, so here's some of the early bands. Rehab. Remember the hit Bartender? Dun, 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 dun. I forgot about him. Let's see. Neil McCoy. He's got some good. Billy's got his beer goggles on. That's a favorite. That's Sunday night, 8 p.m. Neil McCoy. Bratfest. So I always try to schedule the Madison Card Show for that weekend of Bratfest, Memorial Day weekend. So we'll see. I'll know in a couple weeks if I can book the venue that weekend. Where are we at? Cardboard Critters, what's going on? Road trip to Eau Claire for the 3-day card show, discussing a road trip to Madison for one of your next shows. Hell yeah. February 24th, March 30th, April, May, June, to be announced. Mr. Archer, good morning. Max says, any of the new guys, Pokemon. I think at least one. What'd I say? There's 9 new vendors. I think 1 or 2 for sure. I think as I'm looking through, because some people, and we've talked about this before. Some people, there's all this Pokemon. Every other table's Pokemon. Every other table's not Pokemon. So I went through, in the last couple shows, it's been about 20. I think 20% of the tables are Pokemon. So that's every 5 tables. So and that's tables, not dealers, by the way. So there's going to be about 145 tables. So that's still less than 30 tables out of 140 that are Pokemon. So don't complain about the Pokemon tables if you're a sports guy. So I'll go through and it's going to be a little better for me from a marketing standpoint, taking video pictures, collecting money, buying. My wife and I were texting back and forth last night, and I was just telling her about the show. And she's like, well, it sucks that you're not setting up, because I make significantly more money when I set up, because the $100 in 2 tables, I can make. One month I made over 1,000 selling. I think last month it was 700 or 800. So I make good money selling, but at the same time, it comes at the cost of stressing out in preparation. And this month it would have been a nightmare. It would have been a nightmare just getting everything in, along with all the tables. I would definitely have to make 2 trips back and forth. So I'm like, it's a lot less stress for me. So I'm actually looking forward. I've been setting up for several months. I went like almost a year not setting up at the Madison show. And then it became like, I can do this. And I can't, it's not easy, but it's not difficult either. But it is, it can be annoying. Yeah, I lost a $20 sale from somebody because I was, going off collecting money, and somebody got mad and just left the cards like $20. It's like, that's my fault, but sometimes that's the risk. So it's going to be nice just to have that flexibility to walk the show, take photos, shop, and not constantly be running back to my table to make sure that I'm not losing $20 sales. Shane says, Max, you will have to ask them. Who knows what people identify as now these days? And not to make light of that, but if a table has Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, they all are the same to me. Like I couldn't tell you the difference. I know Pikachu is Pokemon, but like Magic and other stuff, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm sure there's Magic, I'm sure there's Yu-Gi-Oh! But I've heard that there's not much Magic at the show. I've heard it's mostly Pokemon with some Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic scattered. It's kind of like, I think Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! At the show is kind of like hockey. It's hard to find. Hey, but some of the hockey collectors might be happy that Eric's going to be back, because Eric's like the only dealer with hockey. Orlando's in the house. What's going on? Good morning. Donald says, hit that like button. Thank you, sir. Max says, Shane, I don't care what they tell me. I'll tell them how I identify them. There you go. That's the good attitude. Brian, what's up? Good morning. Porter says, UT Martin rolled SEMO by 26. Oof. I doubt the Red Hawks are looking ahead to much other than next season. Yeah. Neil says, Billy Belichick still looking for a job. Falcons pass on him. You think? I wonder if do you think Belichick's going to coach again? Like, I think it's just ego he's going to want, but I agree with Orlando. He does need to I think the game has passed him by. I think there's a time limit on everything, on life. There's a limit, and sometimes the game passes you by and it's just time to let go. And I think for Belichick, like that's somebody asked me like when it was still a rumor, like Belichick's not going to be back. Somebody's like, I think somebody posted in the Facebook group, like, do you want him with the Bears? And it's like, at first it's like, yeah, no, I don't. Cause I just don't think, I don't think he can relate to the new generation. I think for coaches, it takes a very talented, special person to be able to coach multiple generations. And Belichick, when did Belichick get into coaching? In the 80s, I'm sure. He's been in the NFL since the early 90s. And I'm sure, he was an assistant on some of those 80s Bill Parcells teams? But, you think about adults in the 80s, adults today, there's a chasm, and there's been multiple generations that it's hard to relate 30, 40 years. Dan's in the house. What's going on? Andy Mack is here. Good morning. Paul Carl, what's up? Red Light says good morning, and hit the like button and go to the eBay store. Yeah, hit up that eBay store, 99centcards.com. Link in the description. Good morning, Flawed Thinker. He says he hit a nice Julio Rodriguez SP insert last night in Stadium Club. I haven't had FOMO over Stadium Club. My one of my Cubs chats had they're just going ape shit over Stadium Club, and I'm just like, eh. And I thought about going to Walmart yesterday. I was actually driving to the post office, and I'm like, I can go to the other post office and check Walmart just to see if they have any blasters. And I got down to the fork in the road. Like, do I go left to my normal post office, or do I go right and then hit up Walmart? And I'm like, I don't care. So I don't have FOMO over Stadium Club. Sometimes I do, but it's also last year's product. If it was 2024, I'm excited. It's new. Now it's like, it's last year's stuff. I'm just not. If I see it, like if I had to go to Walmart to get paper, envelopes, whatever, supplies, beer, whatever, and I'm going to go check the card section just to see, but I'm not going to make a special trip. Max says 50 is always better than 70. Oh, that's on temperature. Oh my God, no. Oh, fuck 50. That's cold. Big Harv, what's going on? Good morning. Brian is heading to Target to pick up some things. Might grab some retail to rip. There you go. Big Harv says, MD, that's not possible. 70 and watching the sunset over the Pacific Ocean is pure bliss. Brendan's in the house. What's going on? He wants to know. Kyle is our NASCAR expert in the chat. So he's asking Kyle, would you recommend 2017 or 2018 Donruss NASCAR cases on Blowout? So we talked about this the other day. Blowout has $99 blaster cases. That's $5 for a blaster box of NASCAR. I don't coming from me. I'm like, damn, I might buy some. And anytime I get NASCAR, I don't even look at it. If there's a race car or a race car driver on that card, it goes into a box and Kyle gets it in a bulk deal. And then he posts, look what I got. It's like, fuck, I didn't know that was a good card. So Kyle gets all those deals out of my bulk sales to him. But I'm looking at this. I'm like, damn, $5 for a blaster. And you get an autograph or mem card, even if I think Kyle said you get about 7 autographs per case. Still, even if it's a $5 auto, hey. And then you get a bunch of base cards, put them in a quarter box or Put them on eBay for $1.75. So Kyle's the guy to ask. 2017 or 2018. Talking Tatis, what's up? Good morning. Max to Big Harv, not to me. Would rather be at a game or at a card show. Don't give two shits about nature, ocean, green. Sports Dream, what's going on? First few oh man, I'm hungry looking at his profile pic. First few shows can be lower price tables until the trust and popularity increase. Here's what I say. I did the opposite. I actually decreased my table prices with popularity, which was a mistake, especially with the demand that it's now garnered. So we started the show. I had a co-promoter for the first, did the math yesterday, 4 or 5 months, 6 months. And we started out like $50 a table because the Sheraton Hotel is not a cheap venue to rent. Even at that time, we were getting a COVID break. And I'm like $50. And we didn't do table discounts. And we should have, because I think we would have sold more tables early on. 17 tables that first month, 23 that second month. And then I think we went to like 30 the third month. And then I think after 4 or 5 months, we finally hit 40 tables. But I don't think we started giving table discounts. It was $50 a table for 3 or 4 shows. And then it's like, okay, we'll do. And then we went way too far and we did 3 for $100. And then we went 3 for, and then I went 3 for 120, 2 for 83 for 120. And then now it's just, we're just going to do $50 a table. I'm just going to do $50 a table because I want to, because mainly the hotel significantly, they raised my prices 20% on top of an increase each year since I started the show, which I never built in. I kept those discounts in place. So now there's just no table discount. So the single table prices haven't increased, but there's now just no discount on tables. So kind of did it backwards. What's up, Uncle Rich? But there's still demand. And now I could have sold 200 tables. I just don't have space. And that third ballroom wasn't available. So I'm looking at potentially for next month, opening up that third ballroom. If there's demand, like I think I'm at the point where, like, if there's demand in the money works, I'll have to get, I don't know what I think the quote on that room is the same as the Williamson ballroom. So I just I'll have to map it out after this show. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how many dealers want to come back next month, how much interest from new dealers. And hey, if I can make it work, we'll make it work. I don't want to because also I'm going to have to buy the tables. And you know, I don't want it just to be I don't want to have fucking 40 tables because I don't have, my wife will kill me if there's 40 card show tables in the garage. Hey, investment property, buy that. Come on, honey, buy that storage unit. So I can store my card show tables. Actually, if I did go to that, I'd probably just go rent a storage unit because I'm already at, I think, 12 tables in the garage, and there's room, but it's like any more than that is a bit much. Uncle Rich is with us. What's going on? Price your cards, he says. There you go. From a dealer standpoint, yes. If you're a dealer, price your cards. Especially, and I can't say this enough, if you have like, this is probably going to be a shitty drink of coffee. No, it's not bad. I'm okay with a dealer that has T206, T205, Old Judge, Ginter, and they're not priced. I'm okay with that. Even though like the price fluctuation on that is like nil. But at least I have an interest, like, hey, what's the price on that? And I can ask on one card, and I know, like, okay, I feel that's overpriced, so I'm not going to ask what he wants on this next card. I'm just going to walk away or just ogle the cards and then walk away. If it's a good price, it's like, okay, well, it's a good price, but it's a little more than I want to pay. Well, I wonder what this one is, and I'll ask. What's super annoying is when you have a table that looks like bargain boxes, and it's just a bunch of cards, in boxes, and there's no price. There's no price on the top loader. There's no like all cards $1, all cards $5, all cards $10, all cards a quarter. There's no signage. There's no labels. And you start digging through and you're like, so what's, and this happened to me at the St. Charles Card Show. And I think, I think Bargain Boxer, same dealer. Going through, I'm like, what's your prices on it? Well, it depends. I'm like, so there's not like any rhyme or reason to what box these cards are in. And this guy had like 4 tables, like boxes and pawn boxes. There was like good stuff. And I'm like, there's an 86 Donruss rated rookie, Jose Canseco, followed by a common 77 Topps. And I'm like, and he's like, well, you know cards. A Hank Aaron's going to be worth more than a common. I'm like, okay, thanks for your time, dumbass. So you walk away. I know a lot of people bought cards from him. I might have bought $500 worth if he just would have priced his damn cards. I can tell you the 86 Donruss Jose Canseco hasn't fluctuated that much in price in the last 20 years, 10 years. Price your damn cards. Rich says, way back in the day, I wrote a series of columns on my first synagogue show for Sports Collectors Daily. Very nice. I would recommend going back to those topics as well. Evergreen. And that might be something that I actually like, not script out, but like at least outline. So my thoughts are not like Hobby Evolution where I'm just all over the place. Like, hey, look, squirrel outside. Oh, it's foggy. So at least I'm outlined, not a live, just a recorded video. Here's my thoughts on what I do. And of course, just because I do it doesn't mean you have to do it. Big Harv agrees with Rich. I hate asking a price. Neil says it's 53. My Turk loan's a 53. Very cool. Omar was his given name. He was born in Ridgewood, New York on May 30th, 1926. He was drafted out of the Brooklyn Dodgers farm system by the Cubs in 1950. There you go. A little Turk loan trivia. Sports card ripping teachers in the house. Good morning. Grinding for good is here. Happy Friday. Joe says Cardi the Pro is having issues this morning. Unicorn Cupcake is setting up in Madison. Will be my second show set up in Oak Creek last month in 30 years. Thanks for not bumping me. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know did I write your name down? What's your first name? Just give me your first name. You don't have to dox yourself. Are you Kevin? I can't remember now. I thought I put Unicorn Cupcake in the note. Oh, maybe I didn't. Did I put it next to your name? Yeah, shoot me your first name. Porter says around 9 p.m. last night, Cardi the Pro was not recognizing any of the cards I uploaded. I just chalked it up to being a new set 23 stated. So that definitely they won't recognize 23 stated. In fact, I doubt Cardi the Pro even has the checklist in their system yet because it's only been out for 2 days, not even 2 days. Big Harv says there's even a card show in California. Big weekend for card shows. Sports card ripping teacher says, hoping we are in Delavan for the next show and make the trip over to Madison. Yeah, come on over. Kyle says it's right about 2 hours from, oh yeah, you're in Savannah. I always think you're in Stockton for some reason. From Savannah to John Nolen Drive, right at 2 hours. Max says, has California split off or not yet? According to Cardi the Pro, there is a migration issue that is taking longer than expected. Aha. Hey, at least we know why. That's fun. He may need to do the update to Card Saver Pro Pizza Maker Coffee Maker. How happy would that make you? A 3-in-1. I like it. Uncle Rich says it was a big thing because all these people would claim to be famous bands. Yeah. And you only need like one member, like, oh, we have the rights to Village People. So to call yourself the Village People or Quiet Right, you have to have an original member or a member from the glory days still active in the band. I wonder how many bands from like the 70s and 80s are like full on. Like, I don't think has there ever been a band Where's John Keating? I bet John Keating knows this. Uncle Rich probably knows this. A band that went like their entire run with the original members. Like even the Beatles didn't even have their original lineup. Like is there ever, and of course the Beatles didn't even last as long as most bands. Because yeah, it's like, well, the original, they were created in high school in a garage in Santa Monica. Porter says, seller beware. I almost accidentally listed a Bregman card as sepia when it was actually gold minted, a hobby case hit. Without many comps, I listed it for $34.99, sold in minutes. Wow. Well, that's so. So is 35? Is that like, I don't know. That might be a good price for gold minted. I don't know. I mean, that'd be a hell of a price for sepia because those are like $2 cards. Christian says, Village People, they have 2 songs. You will not even finish a brat before they are done. They have more than 2 songs, right? Of course, we know one of them. Village People songs. Of course, YMCA. In the Navy. Macho Man. Okay, there's 3 big hits. Let's see. So they have at least 3. Uncle Rich. What are the other big songs? Jesus, they have. So just going back to our band lineups. So they had the original 7 members. Victor Willis, by the way, who played the cop, is I think the only remaining member of this 2024 version of the Village People. They had the original 7. From 77 to 79, they had a different. Then from 79 to 80, they had a different. 81 to 82, 82 to 84, 84 to 85. Man, they've had like 1,000 different members. They even have a graph showing the timeline of the band members. Let's see. So the current Victor, who on again, off again. He was there in the early days, took a break, came back in 1982, and then didn't come back again until 2017. And it looks like maybe, oh wait, no, they had anyway. So yeah, the Village People, they have at least 3 songs. But Christian, how many brats will the Village People finish before they are done? Oh, hi-oh! Happy Friday, Christian. Honolulu, blue Kool-Aid and cornbread. Go Lions. Big weekend, football weekend. Mikey says it just says no results found for me trying to search the database. Christian says Falcons didn't pass on Bill. Bill passed on the Falcons. He's not going to go just anywhere. Bill will be the Packers defensive coordinator. Let's see. Flawed Thinker says the Frank Thomas card in the new Stadium Club is one of my new favorite cards. That image is just timeless. I don't think I've seen that. Bill Belichick was a Lions assistant. Oh, wow. Was he part of the Bill Parcells tree? Bill Belichick. What is his wow, his first coaching gig was with the Baltimore Colts in 1975. A special assistant. He was a special assistant for the Lions on special teams and then coached the receivers in 1977. Went on to be a defensive assistant for the Broncos in 78. New York. So he was with Bill Parcells. Oh, yeah, he was the defensive coordinator for Bill Parcells. How did I not know that? So he was with the Giants from 1979 to 1990. Defensive coordinator from 85 to 90. And then he was, of course, the head coach of the Browns. We know from a couple of those early football cards, 91 to 95. He was an assistant for the Patriots in 96. Went on to the Jets for a couple seasons. And then, of course, the Patriots starting in 2000. Kyle says there's really not much difference between 17 and 18. Donruss talking NASCAR. I think the rookies are a little better in 2017, but overall, you were paying $99 to gamble on getting some big autos or a slingshot card. See, I wouldn't know what the hell a slingshot card was. Rich says my synagogue show I started at $25 per table, which you can do when you are not paying for the room. Absolutely. And that it all comes down to, price of the room. I think the nicer, more expensive venues, you're gonna pay a little more because the rent is gonna be high. If you're able to get a discounted rate, you can start low. Happy Friday, Diego. What's going on? Christian says, rent tables from a local church. It's a donation and tax deductible. That's a good thought. That is a good thought. Rich says, I had a plan which worked back in the day to slowly raise the table prices to a $40 limit because once the show got known, there was demand. Absolutely. Neil says, last show I found a complete 87 Donruss rated rookie set in a $3 box. Asked dealer and he said, oh no, that's in the wrong box. Yeah, right. Oh, you just did some work for him. You sorted for him. Uncle Rich says, Ridgewood, New York is in Queens. Oh, so Turk Loan from Queens. Alan says, what is or was your Chase Cubs card? Cap Anson, Alan and Ginter. You know, that's the card that I want to be the 1 millionth card. Just got to find it. Kevin. Aha, I do have you. Kevin, Unicorn Cupcake. There he is. Kevin, Unicorn Cupcake. Uncle Rich says, speaking of shows with Pokemon, my friends from the DCS are doing an investability show in a couple of weeks. Mikey says, have you ever thought of taking ADHD meds? No, I haven't. Maybe I should. I just found out I got the last 5K of my student loan forgiven. Thanks, Biden. I qualified through teaching. Hey, congrats. Use that money for cards. No, don't do that. The Four Tops never changed membership until they started dying. There we go. The Four Tops. They are almost unique in that. Porter says, congrats to Andy Mack. Uncle Rich says, even though Levi Stubbs could have and should have gone solo. Actually, they had an extremely popular dance song before they became famous. San Francisco. I saw that on there, and I probably know it if I heard it. Neil says, your favorite band, U2. Oh, there you go. They're one of my most overrated bands of all time, U2. I'm not a U2 fan. I don't think they're overrated, but I don't like their music as much as it's kind of like, eh. In the Navy. Victor Willis was the key to the Village People. He had a great voice. Wikipedia will give you graphs of any bands. I like it. Well, Victor had some jail time. Oh, maybe that's why he took a break. He was in jail. Merle, what's going on? New improved CDP combo edition. Coffee dealer pizza. I like it. Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator for the Giants' first 2 Super Bowl wins. Dan corrects me on my pronunciation. I say sepia. I like sepia. Sepia? I like sepia. I've learned through hobby evolution, I mispronounce a lot of words, don't I? Rollo is my favorite. Rollo, Jim Cat, sepia. Porter says 23 Stadium Club gold minted Vlad. Bobby Jr. had offers accepted at 45 and 50. DeGrom went for 20. That's where my 35 logic came from. Oh, okay. So yeah, you priced it right at right where it should be. Mikey likes David Hasselhoff music and Carrie Underwood. I don't know if I've ever listened to any David. I know he was big in Germany. Germans love the Hoff. Let's see. Dan says, have you heard him pronounce the candy Rollo? Not only the candy, but the thermal label printer is a Rollo as well. Max says, I was having a good day. Now I get that loan payoff BS thrown in my face. Where's my money? Worked my ass off to pay my shit off. Well, too bad. Too sad. Dan says, yes, you do. Oh, and what? Oh, ibuprofen. Ibuprofen. Neil says, eBay is laying off 1,000 employees, about 9% of its staff. I haven't really looked into that. I do know that watching CNBC, this has been a few weeks ago, but eBay's been down, like as far as like users, sellers, sales, they've been down since the pandemic. eBay in general, like their numbers have been down for the last, I think it was 2019. I can't remember. Just pulling it off the top, but it was a number that I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize that. Let's see. Porter says, I guarantee that he spells his dog's name Bizkit, unbeknownst to his wife. Bizkit. Max says, wait, that's not how shit works. How can people be okay with it? I don't know what he's talking about. Flipping Sports Guy says, LOL, I don't think MD actually was having a good day. He came in asking if California had finally split up. That's a good point. Max, you weren't having a good day. Andy thanks Max. Max, thank you for helping Andy pay off his student loans. That's very nice of you, Max. eBay and every other tech company has been laying off people in 2024. Not much to see here. How about we play a little Name That Player? No, we don't want to do that. We don't. Okay. I wasn't prepared. I never am. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna do him. We're gonna do from the Hollywood set. We're gonna do a few that we haven't done. Oh, that's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. All right, let's try to find one more. That's a good one. Okay, so there's 4 Hollywood. What do we have? Oh, let's do some football. So we've got 4, 5. That's too easy. That's a good one. 6. Let's do 4 football. So we're at 6. Some of these are just too easy. Too easy. 7. The football, they're all like superstars, so the football's too easy. Okay, we'll do that one. Oh, wait, no. We're going to do this one instead. All right. So there's some football, and let's do 4 baseball. Let's do some of these heritage. These are a little more difficult. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's do one more from this heritage set. That one. And let's pull one from here. What's going on in the chat? Let's see. Dan wants to know if we're going to have a battle at the Texas border. I think we did these last week. What else is going on? Max always has a good day. You're welcome. Continue blaming the parents. Uncle Rich says, I hope we didn't. I forget I had some of these. There's a good one. All right, let's do a vintage. I like that one. All righty. All right. Now we've got, I think, 13. I think I did 5 baseball. All right. Rich says 11 to 12 hours away. Max doesn't like California. Porter says he's playing from the laptop for the first time. Rich says California will earthquake into the ocean someday. Merle says his first guess is Turk. Flipping Sports Guy says that loan sounds like it touched a nerve. He's too busy to worry about. The loan is real life shit, though. There you go. Okay. Now, let's mix these up. So we'll start here, go here. Let's do football, baseball, Hollywood, football, baseball, Hollywood, baseball, football, Hollywood, football, baseball. Okay. So, all right. Merle says Cardi the Pro put out a video showing how to adjust levels when scanning Chrome cards. Oh, very cool. Yeah, some of my Chrome cards, I don't adjust the settings and they come out looking like shit. All right, let's take a look at the scoreboard for Name That Player. Max, he's at 10 points. Card Hobbyist 7, Joe Trotto at 5, Dan Harlan, Huddle Card Collection, Merle, and Uncle Rich, and Tom Gibson are at 3. So, without further ado, we're going vintage to start things out. Where's Royals 417? He might be teaching class already. It's 8:30. Kansas City Royals. It is not Perez. Uncle Rich is correct. He fat figured it. Amos Otis. Amos Otis. Oh, Max is going to be grumpy because it's vintage. Uncle Rich moves up. So where's Uncle Rich at? Is that 4 points? 4 points for Uncle Rich. Oh, we got multiple birds out there. Uncle Rich, 4 points. And he moves up to 1, 2, 3, fourth place. All right. Next up, we're going to do Hollywood. Hollywood. Let's see. So Amos Otis still living. This does have a baseball connection. This does have a baseball connection. Who is it? I bet Uncle Rich knows. And I bet he knows the connection. It is not Roy Rogers. Oh, Dan snuck it in away from Uncle Rich. Dan got it. Gene Autry, the singing cowboy. Was that his nickname, the singing cowboy? Gene Autry is correct. Dan with the point. Let's see. Where are we at? Where's Dan? Dan, you are at... Oh, Dan, you're in a tie with Uncle Rich now. 4 points. Oh, I don't even have to move you. All right. Shane says this is impossible on the interstate. Can I get a half point? Angels owner. Yes, that was his baseball connection. Gene Autry was the Angels owner. All right, we're going football. A little more modern. Into the 90s now. Yeah, Gene Autry, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Who's this quarterback? Jim McMahon, the punky QB. Max with the point. Jim McMahon with the Philadelphia Eagles. Max extends his lead, 11 points. All right, next up, baseball. This is going to be tough. You've really got to know your baseball because it's Topps Pro debut. This is going to be a tough one. Do I have to give any hints away? Yeah, Jim McMahon, Bears quarterback. Let's see. Young lefty first base prospect. I'm not going to give. Oh, Diego. Diego gets it. Yes, Adley Rushman. Diego, you get the point. Diego, I think that's your first point of this new round. All right. Next up, we go back to Hollywood. I don't think we did this guy before. Who is this guy? I don't think he has a baseball connection that I know, at least that I know of. Diego just bought that car. There you go. Let's see. It's not Cassidy. It's not Earl. It's not Tom Jones. It is Glenn Campbell. Yes. Uncle Rich, Glenn Campbell. Wichita lineman. What else did he sing? And he just passed away a couple of years ago, right? Galveston, Wichita lineman. Oh, like a rhinestone cowboy. That was his biggest hit. Uncle Rich moves up and ties Joe Trotto with 5 points. All right. Uncle Rich says no baseball connection for Glenn Campbell. I bet maybe he went to a baseball game. Back to football. Who's this guy? The Raiders. Howie Long is correct. Max, the fastest fingers. Howie Long, now on Fox. So Max extends his lead, 12 points. Howie Long. A lot of people knew that. Okay, baseball. We're going to run into a tough stretch. This guy, he's got a very familiar face if you're familiar with the baseball player. He has a unique name. What I mean by that is not his baseball name, but his actual given name is very unique. There's a funny story behind it. It is Ted Lilly. Yes, Ted Lilly, Max. Theodore Roosevelt Lilly, in fact. And I think it's Theodore Roosevelt Lilly III. So Max with another point. All right, 13 for Max. We're going back to Hollywood. We're going back to Hollywood now. I just need the band name. Or if I will also accept, so I'll accept band name or the last name of the group members because it's all the same. And they were popular around the same time as the Village People. All right, who are they? The Bee Gees is correct. Porter, I believe. Let me go back. Yes, Porter got it first. The Bee Gees. I would have also accepted Gibb Brothers, whatever. Porter got it. Porter, are you on the board yet? Porter. Yes, so you're at 2 points. All right. Next up, we're going to, where are we going next? Baseball. Baseball. Nope. Oh, Max should get this one. Oh, wait, Max is not a Brewers fan, but he might get it. Mikey says he sucks at this game. Lee is correct. Max got it. Carlos Lee. Max with another. 14 for Max. He's doubled up the card hobbyist. This is a toughie. Wide receiver. Plaxico Burress, Max. Plaxico Burress. 15 for Max. We're down to 2 left. This next one, we go back to Hollywood, and we will take character name or actress name. Actress or character. It is not Carol. Where are we at? Alice. I was making sure it's Alice. Yes. Alice from the Brady Bunch. Ann B. Davis. Dan with the point. And you have leapfrogged Uncle Rich. Oh, wait, no, you've tied Uncle Rich. All right. Last card. Last card, football. Oh, wow. Flipping Sports Guy names a couple Colts running backs. He got one of them. Flipping Sports Guy with the point. Marshall Falk. Not Edgerrin James, but Marshall Falk. Flipping Sports Guy on the board. And that's his third point, I believe. So you move up. Flipping Sports Guy. All right. So here's a look at the updated standings. Max extends his lead, 15 points. Card Hobbyist with 7. But Joe Trotto, Uncle Rich, and Dan right on his heels with 5 apiece. Harlan, Huddle Card Collection, Merle, Tom Gibson, and now Flipping Sports Guy have 3 points apiece. All right. Max says should be a DQ on James. Nope, still fat. Not only did he type in James, but he was able to correct himself and put Falk before anybody else guessed. How about that? Porter says, makes me miss the greatest show on turf. Those were fun times. Max says, guys, I want to give you this trophy away. You're not helping me. Grinding for Good wants to call it to the replay booth. All righty. That's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget the Madison Card Show tomorrow, 9 to 3, Sheraton Hotel, John Nolen Drive. No Hobby Evolution tomorrow morning. We'll review the Madison Card Show on Sunday morning. So hope to see you in Madison tomorrow. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, visit my eBay store. And if I don't see you in Madison tomorrow, I'll see you Sunday morning.